The Prime Minister of Greenland says that his people do not want to be Americans. Now, that message directed to the new U.S. president. Before his inauguration, Donald Trump said that he would like the territory, the island, to become part of America. Denmark, which Greenland is a part of, says it is satisfied that the subject was not mentioned in Trump's inaugural address. He did, however, respond to a question about Greenland later in the Oval Office, saying it is a wonderful place and the U.S. needs it for international security. DW's Jack Parrock is in the capital of Greenland, Nuuk. He says the government there is closely monitoring what Trump is saying about Greenland's sovereignty.
Well, they've been watching it closely. We just had actually a press conference earlier today by the Premier, the Prime Minister of Greenland, Egede, and he was saying that Greenlanders need to come together. He was trying to tell the Greenlandic people that they are in communication with one another, that they need to stay together, and that he understood the fears of the Greenlanders. He didn't say too much. He was pressed on whether he would welcome Donald Trump to come to Greenland himself. Donald Jr., his son, came just a few weeks ago now, just over a week ago, actually. They won't say that. They say that they want structured talks, that they are still part of Denmark as a semi-autonomous country. But it was really clear that he's trying to reassure the people of Greenland, who he said are worried about this suggestion of the country becoming the 51st state of the United States.
Yeah, I mean, there is a history between the U.S. and Greenland. I'm wondering how concerned are people there, though, about the future of Greenland now that they've heard Donald Trump say that he wants the U.S. to take over the island?
So, as you say, there is a long history of cooperation, and a lot of the Greenlandic people, that's what they say to me. They say, he doesn't need to buy our country, we are cooperating. The most northerly military base that the United States has is up in the far north of Greenland. At the height of the Cold War, there were around 15,000 troops stationed there. At the moment, there's somewhere between 100 and 150. But it's perfectly welcomed by the Greenlandic people, by the Greenlandic government, and also by the Danish government as a NATO ally of the United States. They want increased trade with the United States. Lots of the fishermen that I've spoken to say that actually they're frustrated that they can only sell their fish mainly into Europe due to the sort of legal structures that exist, and rather they would also like to be able to head towards the West and be able to sell into Canada and the United States as well if there were further agreements. But they say simply that they don't need to become a state of the United States in order to do that. The context for this is that Greenland has been consistently pushing for independence from Denmark to become an entirely independent country. And what they say is that we don't want to leave independence from Denmark and then become an administered state of the United States. They want to be completely an independent nation. But that's difficult for them. There's 56,000 people, over 2 million square kilometers, and a complicated political system, which you can see here is not really ready for the international media.
Yeah, and we noticed yesterday that President Trump did not mention Greenland in his inauguration speech. However, later, when he was talking to reporters in the Oval Office, he did say it, I'm going to quote here, that Denmark would come along on a potential sale of Greenland to the United States. I mean, at the end of the day, will Denmark really give up on Greenland?
They would certainly try not to, for sure. And that's the position of the Danish government. They've sort of, without question, not acknowledged or not engaged with the suggestion that the United States could buy it. Quite interestingly, a couple of nights ago, there was a debate that was held between Copenhagen and Nuuk of Danish and Greenlandic voices. This idea of going to the United States is quite alien to the political discussion that has existed for decades here, where they're trying to look at how they work together, how the Greenlandic people, they want to become independent. The Danes don't really want that, but they say that they want the Greenlandic people to decide their own future. And there was a big debate about what that looks like. The press for independence, though, is pretty difficult. Right now, 90 to 95% of the teachers and the doctors here in Greenland are Danish. If you want to get educated to a higher level, if you want to become a doctor, you have to go to Denmark to study. There's only a nurses' school here. The university doesn't go all the way up to certain different professional levels. And that's why most of the sort of top-end, high-skilled workers here in Greenland are Danish. So if they were all to leave, you would have a really difficult situation for the people of Greenland. And so that's why they say they need to sort of transition to independence. The idea of being bought by the United States is so far away from what the political discussion has been for so many decades here in Greenland.
DW's Jack Parrock in the capital city of Greenland, Nuuk. Jack, thank you.